there and then live on. Whoa. Whoa. What's going on? We are up and running.
Should
What's going on
we
there? Huh?
take a moment to ground ourselves?
I guess. I mean, not really sure what the hell's going on today. It's one of those days. You know what I mean? Jelly bean?
No idea.
Yeah, sure. I'm surprised. What's going on?
Not much.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay. Should we even do this?
Yeah, go for it.
Jesus. It's always good to see that you are really there. All right.
All right. I'll play the intro.
Two guys from two worlds. This is the flip side. New episodes uploaded on YouTube every Wednesdays and Saturdays. Now, your hosts, Jay and Noel.
Right. Okay, so it says Wednesdays and Saturdays, but right now, technically, we're doing this live on a Sunday night.
Yeah,
so is it
you're
still
right.
coming out on Wednesdays and Saturdays? We need to update that for some reason. But I mean, I mentioned that because Sunday today, last day of the year 2023.
Jesus. Can you imagine?
Christ. Yeah, and can you imagine my iMac is dead?
Yeah, what a way to end the year, man. I mean,
So now it's officially a door stopper, or what do you call that when you put it on? It's a
paperweight?
paperweight.
A
A really
$2,000 paperweight.
overgrown paperweight that's just sitting back there.
So what are you trying to do? You trying to get that brought in to get it fixed or what?
We'll see. I don't know. I haven't had time for it yet.
Haven't
Too
had
much-
time. What have you been doing?
Spent like 2.5 days just trying to, reinstall the OS. Nothing's happened. Still gives me that blinking folder, contact Apple support. I
Yeah.
went through each and every article that I could read about resetting and putting up the OS again from English to Indian type of uh, installation suggestions. I went through Indian videos, English, American videos. Still nothing.
Nothing.
I'm still at the bottom of the list, which is contact Apple support, bring it to the shop. So it's waiting to be boxed up and be brought to the shop.
Jesus, that's
I
gonna
try,
suck.
I tried it again last night. I let it rest for like 3 days since
Yeah.
the last time I was working on it.
Mhm.
Still the same. Mine still hasn't changed.
I mean, it's what's even worse about that is when you have all your personal stuff in it.
Oh, don't remind me.
I know it sucks. I went
tr-
through that, and it's just a pain in the ass, to be honest with you, to
Yeah,
a
no,
point where
I try not to remember what's in there, and I just find out, oh, that's inside the iMac. The first and only original copy is in the iMac. Right.
oh my god, I don't even know why you do that, to be honest with you.
Because I didn't have any hard drives. Nobody, no friend from the US sent me any hard drives for my birthday. I mean, it's
Well, shit out of luck, bro.
right. Which
You mean to
reminds me,
tell me you don't have any spare um hard drives at all?
none. I have like 15 of them, and none of them are spares.
That sucks. That really sucks.
Which reminds me, speaking of usable relationships, tomorrow I have a family online reunion.
Nice.
We're probably gonna stare at each other and like, oh, how are you doing with your career, Noel? And I'll be like, wait, connection's getting lost. I think I'll call you guys back. I'll be back.
Is this like
I'm,
an
work,
annual thing?
I'm working on my speech already. the past couple of years, yeah, it's been an online thing. COVID, since thanks to COVID, we wouldn't have otherwise we wouldn't have a family reunion. We'd just be minding all our own business.
Jesus.
But when we realized that there is an online opportunity to get together,
Yeah.
we hopped right on it.
So it's just like a Zoom, like a family. What do you call that,
Yeah,
reunion type of thing? How many family people
yeah.
usually attend?
Oh, that's a good question. There's about a good 15, 20, 30 of us, depending on if you count the kids or not.
Yeah,
But
that's nice.
my mother's side family, there's 8 brothers and sisters.
Hmm.
So that's 8 separate families. Well, actually, a couple of them passed already. I forget. But they're here, still here in spirit. So a couple of them have already passed, and the kids are the ones attending that kind of thing. So
Right.
they're a pretty big bunch. But we're spread all over the world. Typical Filipino, I guess. Typical Filipino family,
Right.
spreading the seeds. So yeah,
That's good. That sounds like at least something to look forward to.
I don't know if it's something to look forward to. Again, it's giving me anxiety. It's like, oh, Noel, kamusta ka na? Have you made your movie already?
Oh my god.
How's your vlogging going?
Nobody really knows in your family about your whole vlogs, though, right?
No, because I don't really post anything or what. But I don't know. It's one of those things. Like I love my family, but when I start talking to them and hanging out, and they ask me how I am, and
Right.
it's just not awkward, anxious, but I'm just embarrassed sometimes. Now there's nothing going on. Meantime, I have another cousin which is 5, 10 years younger than me. Oh, he's just flying airplanes. And then I have another cousin that's he's got a couple of businesses. What about you, Noel? Uh,
What are you
ta-
doing?
Taking care
I'm
of my
just
dog.
vlogging stuff, my motorcycle all the time, and posting it for nobody to see.
Taking care of my dog, which is a picky eater, by the way. Kakainis this aso. You buy him like special. Oh, let's bring him pasalubong. And then when you get home, he's like, don't care. I'd rather scratch my balls.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Good way to spend a day.
Yeah. So that's how I'm gearing up. But it's evening for us now. It's 8:21, so it's about less than 4 hours. What about you guys? How are you guys going to be spending the day?
Oh no, but today we're just gonna go to church and then play some pickleball and then just hang out. Maybe have dinner out somewhere. We don't really celebrate New Year's anymore like the last couple of years. It's gotten to be pretty boring, you know?
Well, probably not celebrated, but at least like, ooh, it's a new time, a new calendar, like at midnight kind of
No,
thing.
no. I mean, this New Year to me, it's not something to celebrate yet. I don't. I know it's New Year's Eve and whatnot. Happy New Year, by the way, to somebody across the world where it's already New Year's Day. But here we don't really. I mean, this year I'm not looking at it like I want to celebrate. You know,
Mm.
because I'm looking forward to next New Year because I got big goals this year. Big goals and a lot of work that I want to do. A lot of work.
So you're saying you don't want to celebrate too soon.
I don't
You
want
don't
to
want to.
celebrate too soon. I don't want to jinx myself. I have ended the year in a positive note where I've actually made some moves and some strives to help get me kickstarted for 2024, personal
Wow.
wise. So I don't know. I'm optimistic about 2024, and I'm hoping that it's going to be a good year for us. And I think it's going to. I'm optimistic. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the challenges that this year is going to bring.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty busy year for me. So I don't know, man. It's a lot to do. And what about you? Any big plans for tonight? Any goals for next year?
Hold on, let me check my calendar. Empty, 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 empty for the next couple of months. Listen, speaking of celebration, there's something that I would like to celebrate with you. I don't know if you're familiar with this. Ah, man, I still can't share screens.
Why can't you share the screen? Go to the bottom.
No, no, no. I gotta go to the settings and sort that out with my computer, some privacy setting thing that I. But
Uh,
it is turned on. It is turned on. What are you talking about, man? It's
okay.
turned on. I wanna. And then now it says I gotta quit Chrome. That means get out of the chat
Yeah.
and then log back in. Darn it. Quit and reopen. Can't do that right now.
You can't do that right now.
Dr. Pepper. Probably the last time that I drank Dr. Pepper was at least 15, 20 years ago.
Are you serious?
There's Dr. Pepper. Did you send it? Did you see the picture that I sent you the other day that's about this small?
Yeah, I saw
The
that
doc
one.
Right. So do you guys have that Dr. Pepper size that's this small?
Yeah, yeah. We have
All
that.
right.
We have that for Coke. For all the sodas, pretty much came up with that size already.
Oh wow, you guys are downsizing. So right. So Dr. Pepper, not very, because I can understand it tastes like medicine, but here it's not very popular here.
Mm.
But yeah, so the other day they had one at the gas station, and I was like, ooh, and it brought so much memories.
Why is Dr Pepper like your go to drink of choice
Yeah, back in the days, man,
back then?
when I was in Daly City, yeah, that Dr. Pepper and a Snickers bar. That would be like my breakfast, lunch, and dinner for some time.
Mm,
Not
mm.
because we were poor, but just because I had bad habits.
Yeah, I mean Dr Pepper is good, but it's not like I'm
Oh,
alright
there,
with it.
thank you.
You know what I mean?
Right, right. Again, this is where I come from. My dad. It's like, oh, it's not
Yeah.
for whether it's good or bad. It's for the memories.
Oh my god. I don't know. I've never been a big fan of Dr Pepper. I don't know why. I mean, it was when I first moved here. My go-to soda has always been root beer, and back then that was the closest thing that would come to root beer for me before I discovered
Which one exactly? What root
Bark
beer?
root
Like,
beer, Bark root beer,
uh,
or A&W, really,
mm, 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 mm.
you know. But my favorite has always been tap root beer from Pizza Hut. No, no, not take that back. Shakey's, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I don't know. It just grew on me. It just
Yeah.
grew on me. And again, the fact that I haven't had it in a long time, which is what makes it even more special.
Hmm, hmm.
You never know what you really have until you lose it.
So, so, so New Year's Eve is literally around the corner for you, really. What has been one tradition? Like, how did you used to celebrate New Year's Eve? What did you used to do?
Nothing. Just
Nothing?
like,
Really? You didn't go
I don't
out
know,
to
like,
like clubs or bars or anything like that?
well, yeah, when I was working, yeah,
Yeah.
I had to do stuff like that. But like, are you talking about tradition, like something that I would do every New Year?
No, not really. I mean, we'll get to that, but how did you used to celebrate New Year's Eve?
I tried to sleep a couple of years. I remember that. I was like,
Just
I want to be like
just
a
sleep
Scrooge.
through New Year's Eve?
I tried. I operative word is I tried, but I really couldn't. Like my
Right.
heart and soul actually wanted to celebrate time. The change of a year,
Mhm.
time. We're actually
Mhm.
for me, it's actually celebrating time. And maybe it's not really about like new life, new resolutions, that kind of thing. It's really more about just acknowledging the watch that I have and the calendar that I got hanging in a wall somewhere, kind of
Right.
thing. That one. Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
That's it. But
Yeah,
no, like
I
going out, like Times Square, looking at the fireworks kind of thing.
man, I did that whole Times Square New Year's Eve thing one time ever in my life. I did that. Never again. Never again.
Because of the
So,
people? Too
well,
crowded?
it was just way too crowded back then. Plus, if you find a good spot, you better fucking stay in that spot. Don't move because you will lose that spot. That one time I went, there was 5 of us that went. Right. I think this was 2006 or seven. I can't remember. Um, we found a spot actually right by the rails. Maybe I don't know. 10 yards from this main stage or whatever where they do the countdown
Mm,
for Dick Clark's New Year's Eve.
mm,
Besides the fact that it was cold,
mm, 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 mm.
if you gotta take a whiz, you gotta walk like 10, 15 blocks before there's an available bathroom.
Oh wow.
You know what I mean?
That's why it would have been good at your there's five of you. You guys could take turns like round
Yeah,
robin.
but just going to the bathroom would literally take 45 minutes to an hour. It's insane because you gotta like go through all the people and then maybe find a hotel that would let you use their bathroom or a restaurant
Mm.
if you're lucky. Or you'd have to walk 5, 10 blocks just to go to a porta potty.
Right. But if you think about it, if you lived here in the Philippines and you did something like that, you could just turn around and do it right there.
Exactly.
The benefit
It
of
was
living
so
here.
cold. It was crowded. Everything is overpriced. Never again. You know, I did it one time just to experience it. Although it was a hassle, it was kind of cool watching the ball drop from Times Square, where it's like a staple to watch here in the U.S. and whatnot. You know, um, and then there was years and years and years when I was still single, where just go out for New Year's Eve, make plans. Holy bejeez! I decided to look online a couple of days ago, just to see what's going on. You know,
Mm.
considering it's after the pandemic as well. Back then, when I used to go out before I got married, like I said, for New Year's Eve, you could spend $500 to $600 to reserve a VIP table in a club. Okay. And when you have a VIP table, you can have as many people as you want in that table, you know, in your group. And then it comes with 2 free bottles of alcohol, like what of your choice.
Mm-mm.
First of all, the markup and the profit that these clubs make on these VIP tables, it's ridiculous. Okay. You can spend $80 and buy 2 premium alcohol bottles. Okay. And then the
Mm.
clubs back then are charging you $500 to $600 for a VIP table. So it's like over 400-500% markup. So the profit is ridiculous. Right. Party out, whatever. I go online a couple of days ago just to take a look what it's going to cost. Okay. For people to go out on New Year's Eve tonight to a club. If you get a VIP table on multiple clubs in DC, I went to 4 different clubs that are hosting something. 4.
Mm.
On average, on minimum, $800 for a VIP table. With that, you only get 2 bottles and then some juices or mixers, but you can only have 6 people with you in your group at the minimum. You could spend $1,200 and have 10 people, or you could spend $2,000 for a VIP table and have unlimited people as your guest. And then on top of that, you get 5 premium alcohol bottles. $2,000. I don't know the nerve of these clubs in DC. I don't know where the hell they get these price ideas. What they're doing gouging these people. It is insane. How first of all, maybe it's just my age, but how can you justify spending that much money just to go one fucking night in a club just because it's New Year's Eve? Come on, man. Insane. $2,000 for unlimited number of people, or $1,200 to $1,500 for 8 to 10 people in your group. What?
Bruh,
Crazy.
you're wearing a headset, right?
Yeah, why?
You could hear yourself talking?
Yes, I know because I freaking did it 2 years ago. It's insane. Not 2 years ago, but when I was single. But it was $500 though. Plus that $500 that I spent years ago. That's maybe 10 people splitting it. So you're only spending $50.
You know those 2.5 minutes that you were ranting there? Just
Yeah.
let you have your moment, right? Get yourself a drink of coffee. I couldn't help but get distracted about that little light reflection of yours in the back, live on air.
This
Any
one.
of your Yeah, do any of your neighbors come knocking on your door like, "Hey, Mr. O, Jay,
Yeah.
you guys have a strip pole up there?
A what?
You guys have a strip pole up there, or who's using
Yeah,
the
it's
strip?"
actually right behind the table here, so I get like a quick view. You know what I mean? It's like a stage on its own right there.
You know,
Yeah, no, no. Anyway, what was I saying? Shit, forgot.
like middle of the night, boom, 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 and then there's like, you know, the
Such a freak. Such a freak.
boom, 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 boom.
Man, I just don't know. Like nowadays, the amount of money that you pay to go out for New Year's Eve. There's also like a bunch of hotels that's like hosting some stuff where you pay $130 to get in, and
Mm.
with that, you that includes some kind of hat or 2023 paraphernalia, and maybe a glass of champagne.
Well,
But
but
that's it.
you know, here's the thing: some memories are priceless, right? So it's like whether it's $200, $2,000, whatever it might be, it's the
No.
experience of being there. So sometimes it's like you let them charge you an exorbitant amount, and you're like, it's cool. It's the memories. It's
Yeah,
the
but I
Facebook
don't.
photos. I want to
It's,
put this on the gram.
can you justify spending that kind of money going out though to like for New Year's Eve? Now that I think, I mean, I've never really spent that much going out on New Year's Eve. Like I said, back then when we got tables at clubs or whatever, it's a bunch of people splitting it. You know what I mean? It's not like just one person forking it up. But
Mm,
if you got 10 people, you're still paying $200 if you're splitting it. You know what I mean? That's
right.
crazy.
I know it's expensive, and then inflation and all that jazz. But again, it's for the gram. It's for Facebook if you want.
Yeah, I guess.
and you're only going to do it once or twice in your life, once or twice now. But if you do it every year until you're 60, maybe that's another story.
Man, how
Wait,
many?
hold on.
Sorry.
Speaking of which, this is one of the things that I wanted to talk about before I forget. Speaking of once in a lifetime experiences and going places,
Yeah.
you sent me a link about the Lion the other day, that city that they're building,
Yes.
right? So
Yeah.
that's just what I wanted to add to whatever it is that you're saying about going to Times Square, experiencing the ball drop and that kind of thing. I would go to this just to experience what it's like there, or what the whole idea is about.
Oh, that's completely different. I would do the
Yeah,
exact same thing.
right, right, right. No, no, no. But that's just where I'm coming from in terms of $2,000 for a table, or a
Right.
VIP room. I mean, if I could afford it, again, it's about the experience. I would do it no matter how much they would cost. Like, spoken like a true billionaire, but you know what I mean. Some things you're there for the experience, and all five senses are actually being used, and you're not just talking to an AI.
Right.
Again, that's totally different from just reading about it on a book or seeing a YouTube video.
Did you
And
know that so they actually started construction on that the line, right?
mm,
Um and it's already like 20% completed apparently.
mm.
And it's
Can you give me more sort of technical details about it? What you remember, like
so
how
this
how
is
long is it going to be? And
it's it's uh it's in Saudi Arabia where they're
mm,
building this thing, in the middle of the
mm.
desert.
I
Um
just love the idea that it's so badass that it's just one freaking straight line.
yeah. This is basically a going to be a smart city. Okay. It stretches about 170 kilometers or 110 miles long.
170 kilometers.
Correct.
Okay, so that's like
They
from
they
here
have
to
a projected of 2030 as an opening day for the city.
it's like here to Tarlac.
Oh man, it's crazy, right? Um, it's stated to have to well building this creates 460,000 jobs. 460,000 jobs. All right.
Mm,
Um, it's planned to be the first development of a $500 billion project. The city plans anticipate a population of 9 million. So literally, an entire country stuck into this city where there's no
mm.
going to be emissions. There's not going to be any kind of running cars or anything. Everything's going to be a smart. It's a smart city. You know.
If you wanted to play the video, please do. But I just remember there was one thing that was mentioned there, that they're going to uh, the priority for transportation is below like health and wellness and that kind of thing. I remember, but
Right.
there's not going to be, or if there is, I'm curious how it's going to be, how transportation is going to be conducted. Obviously, there's probably going to be a railway station.
Right.
I mean, a railroad tracks, but are they going to have cars?
I don't know, but there's this video that I want to play real quick. It's just an update on the construction itself. If you want to take a look, do you want to take a look at this one?
Can I try to do like a quick ninja move and like nah, forget it. I was just thinking of restarting my system while you're watching the video and then leave you hanging by yourself.
That's so stupid. Okay,
that's so scary.
Yeah, let's take a look at this real quick. So this is just an update on the line in Saudi Arabia. Okay, let me press this real quick. Play.
Oh, it's a different video. Okay.
The Line, Trojena,
Can you hear it?
Sindala, and Oxagon, Saudi Arabia's grand vision for the future. A vision characterized by innovation, sustainability, and cutting-edge urban.
It's literally a self-sustaining city. Can you believe that?
Do me a favor and click on that bottom right, not the full screen, but yeah, that one, just so that it's just a tad bit bigger. Right.
Planning.
This reminds.
While the world.
Go ahead. Oh,
no,
crap. Sorry, that was my
just
fault.
saying
This
that
is Neom.
Just saying that it reminds me of it reminds me of Kowloon City. Have you heard about that? The most dense city in the world.
That's another place on its. Maybe we can talk about that in the next episode because that thing is interesting. It's amazing how it just literally, like a mushroom, it just grew out of the ground, basically.
Like on top of each other, left. Okay,
Right.
Go for it. Play this.
The Line, Trojena, Sindala, and Oxagon, Saudi Arabia's grand vision for the future. A vision characterized by innovation, sustainability, and cutting-edge urban planning. While the world was captivated by the trailers and videos showcasing the project's initiation in October last year, updates on the progress have been somewhat difficult to find. So, what's the latest on Neom's progress? How much of it, if any, has already been built? Here is the update on the line construction progress.
Oh, wow.
The line was first announced in 2021 by Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman. This mega project is by far the country's, and can easily be said, in the world, most ambitious and exciting mega project. Imagine a self-sustaining linear city stretching over 170 kilometers, extending from the picturesque Red Sea to the vibrant city of Tabuk in the east.
Can you just imagine if this actually happens and it gets completed? Okay. This is going to be groundbreaking in life itself, where it's a city that's going to run on its own and sustain itself with literally everything.
Like they're off the grid. They're not going to be connected to anybody else.
Well, they're going to be connected to the world. It's just that it's running on its own within its own.
Mm-mm.
The heart of this grand urban experiment is two 500-meter tall buildings that run parallel to each other. The concept is simple yet groundbreaking.
Jesus.
Everything you need within walking distance, a city devoid of cars, roads, and emissions. Unsurprisingly, such an announcement sparked intrigue and skepticism alike. The release of drone footage showcasing excavation work in October 2022 heightened curiosity. However, since then, detailed updates about the project's on-site progress have been not much known. So what does the line look like today, and what has been achieved? The latest information suggests substantial progress has been made on the line over the past year. In an exclusive interview with the project's executive director, it was disclosed that the construction of vital infrastructure is estimated to be approximately 20% complete.
In 2 years, they were able to create 20% of this already, just from the structure alone. I mean, unheard of. Unheard of. I don't even think that the Golden Gate Bridge was done that quick, and it's like a minuscule in compared to this. You know what I mean?
I'm just thinking, I don't want to use the word audacity because it sounds like such a negative thing, but yeah, the guts, the balls, the audacity to actually try something like this, and you're like,
Right.
yeah, we got the money. All that money that we've been using for all that oil, here it is. Check it out.
Right. Right.
It's gonna go here, and you're gonna want to live here too.
This includes critical roads, office spaces, and logistics hubs, all essential for future work on the site. These developments are readily visible on satellite images that span the entire length of the project. A comparison with images from the previous year reveals remarkable transformations at these sites. One standout example is
Yeah. By the way, to even start something like this, they literally had to build a city outside near the site is so that employees are not spending so much time traveling back and forth. It's amazing.
Neom Community 1, which now resembles a fully functional city in its own right.
Look at that.
It boasts hundreds of housing units, a school, a mosque, a post office, convenience stores, and even a branch of the ever-present Starbucks. Meanwhile, excavation work for the line's main structure has made substantial progress over the past year. A glance at Google Maps reveals that one can now almost entirely trace the foundations from end
That
to
is
end.
amazing.
Excavation work on the coastal section known as the Hidden Marina is also well underway. Once completed, this section will become the world's largest marina, capable of hosting vessels twice the size.
Anyway,
It's like, where's your wall, Trump?
right. They're literally building a wall.
Yeah, this is a city that we're building. Where's your wall?
Can you imagine though? I mean, I'm still pretty flabbergasted by this because this is an idea from one person who just thought of it and said, "Hey, you know what? It's chump change. Let's go. Let's get moving." You know?
What about airport, or how do people get there?
Well,
Is
I'm
it-
sure it's going to be built.
How far is it going to be from the nearest
I don't know.
regular city?
I really don't know. You know, it's
Like if it
um,
doesn't work out, do they get to cheat and knock on the neighbors and like, hey guys, we're from the line.
yeah,
Uh,
we're
Can I
trying
borrow
to
some-
get there.
Can I borrow some brown sugar?
You know, I'm trying to see like so I'm trying to what's going on here? I actually Google mapped the line right now.
Mm,
All right. And I'm trying to see here. I want to show this to you as well. Let me take a look at this real quick. So this is the Google map of the line. Right there. No, that's not it. Sorry, guys. I know this is a bit slow what's going on today, but we're getting there. We're getting there. There we go. So this is the line, the Google Maps image of it. Can you imagine? That's actually the city that's built outside of the construction area.
mm-mm.
And the line right there that they're actually showing that looks like it's being built. It looks so small from this picture, but it's huge. Huge. It's ridiculous.
There's a park that was being built just over the Bacod in our house
Yeah.
a couple of years ago. So
Mhm.
while they were building that, they had to, put their shacks on the side, like right on the wall where we're living right now.
Hmm.
So I know what you're saying. So the carpenters, the workers actually needed a place to stay. So they built
Right.
themselves a place to stay so they could do the job for a couple of months. And
Right.
like on the last, which I didn't know it was their last day, but on the last day that they were here, like they blasted like the karaoke.
Yeah.
I couldn't help myself and had to like knock on over to the other side nicely. Like, kuya, pwede pakihina ng konti. Hindi ako makatulog eh. So they turned it down, and the next day they were gone. Like they had like a little apartment complex here, and then next day they were practically gone because the park was built already and they left.
That was it. It's like they didn't even existed.
Yeah, but yeah, that's how it goes, I guess, with big constructions like that. They
Yeah.
they have
Yeah.
their thing. The first time that I came across something like that was dams when when they were building like Ambuklao Dam and Angat Dam in Benguet Mountain Province. That's the first time that I started doing like commercial or professional work. We were
Mm.
interviewing people that were living in those communities, in those barangays or those neighborhoods because of what the dam is building. And of course, on the other side of that, people are like environmentalists, or like they don't want to build the dam and that kind of thing. So it was basically a story about whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, because it's generating jobs.
Right, right. I wonder though, when this structure is actually completed, I know it's going to be a self-sustaining city, right? Will people actually be able to adapt and live in this area, like 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 it naturally? Like, is it? I'm curious to find out like what's going to happen. How are people going to adapt to it? Because they're not going to be seeing the outside world as often. There's going to be
Oh,
schools in this place,
right.
parks, everything's going to be in there. Hospitals, they're literally stuck in that place.
I think
So
it'll
I
be
don't,
exciting. I think
yeah,
it's
but
exciting.
I don't know if it's going to affect people's psyche, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Like I said, I was thinking of Kowloon City.
Oh,
Because everything's like on top of each other. There's
right,
I'm not saying it's going to be a negative thing, but the whole idea of you living on top, like quite literally, there's a grocery on top of us,
right,
or
right.
there could be a public school on top of us, and we're something like that. And I'm sure they planned it, but the whole idea is that it's not your regular, spread out horizontally kind of
Mm.
city. It's you're on top of each other, but maybe more organized and cleaner than Kowloon City. But the
Right.
idea is, it's this three-dimensional same idea.
Yeah. So for those of you guys who are not sure, this is Kowloon City, basically. It's literally it grew from the ground up. You know, it started off with like maybe two levels, and then people just kept building up and up and up. And
Mm-mm,
I was watching a documentary on this. You know, it's literally a city on its own where there's actually schools inside,
mm-mm,
restaurants, bars, libraries, hospital, clinics, everything, dentist, and
mm-mm.
it has everything. The big problem of what's going on in there now is it is causing a lot of health issues as well because there's no actual law in there. You know, so
Mm.
there's a lot of criminal activity, murders, robbery, rape, yada yada yada, and nobody's really governing it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it's actually like for example, there's no the restaurants in there. There's no
Mm-mm.
sanitary people that's governing it, so people are just serving whatever in a very dirty place as well, and they get away with it. You know, there's no structure. The health issues that happens in there because of food as well, it's insane.
Mm-mm. How did this start? Like, was it like Australia where they said, "Okay, you guys go over there, you guys stay over there," and then they built their own country or they built their own city on the
Oh man,
side?
I don't I don't
Like,
know how it started, but it's it's kind of annoying how it's just not being controlled by the government. You know,
yeah, you have your own thing going on, right?
right?
Yeah, can you
Right.
imagine? Yeah,
What
so
would you
the
do?
government doesn't even want to touch it.
No, they don't because they're afraid of what goes on in there. It's like they don't want to admit that there's something like that happening out there.
Mm-mm. And again, if you guys have any idea how this goes, like all these buildings are attached to each other. Like you don't even have to reach ground level to get to the other building. You could just
Right.
like go up on the roof, or just like bridges connecting each and every building, and you don't have to go all the way down to go back to the other building at all.
So these places are now building all these um structures that basically keep everybody in there as long as possible, right? Did you
Mm.
know that there's also like a floating city, like a cruise that actually goes on all year long?
Oh yeah, cruise ships, you mean?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
like it's literally where people live. they live in that. Um, it's like a floating city where there's hospitals, there's schools, there's offices, there's restaurants, and everything.
Show me something. What do you mean?
So, well, it's another. Well, there's one structure that's actually being created as well. I don't know if it's by
Sure the
Dubai or what's
like you
that?
said, like you said, the laws are going to be different. Like
Oh yeah,
you're in
yeah.
international waters. You're a floating city. You don't really have a government, you know,
Mm.
pinning you down. Yeah,
I,
I'm curious. I'm curious.
yeah. So this is another a city that floats.
Is it like a cruise ship?
It's like shaped like a turtle. I'm not even kidding.
Oh, but it's not like going around different countries.
Right there. See,
Oh,
look.
oh, it is. It is moving.
Yeah, I told you.
Is this another Dubai thing or another?
Well, it's another Saudi Arabia
Wow,
build that's gonna cost like it says 6.8 billion pounds.
it's already. You mean it's still a concept? It's not, or it is already. Is that 3D or what is that? Is that for real?
Yeah, I think it's still under construction. Or is it open already? I
It
don't know.
looks. If that's a 3D rendering, that's really. Turn up the sound. Is it already on? It looks like
I
there
don't
are.
think.
Is there any? I can't tell if that's a
No,
computer.
it's. I think the construction is still open though.
Get some sound in. Let's
Huh?
hear it. Can you turn on the sound? I can't hear anything. No sound?
Yeah, there is. Can you hear it?
No, not playing here. Can't hear anything.
Oh, I don't know what's going on, but the audio
Oh,
is there.
right. So does
Man.
it sound like with the narrator talking? Does it sound like it's already built or it's still a concept?
No, it's construction already started.
Oh, okay.
Construction already started on this. It's basically it's another project by Saudi Arabia that's actually being, but it's been partnered with other countries. So this is going to be like a floating city itself, like it says over there earlier. It's
Mm-mm.
turtle shaped, floating year round around the world.
Around
That
the
it,
world.
around the
Oh,
world,
wow.
it's big enough that over 1 million people can reside in it. Can you
Wow.
imagine? I mean, have you? It kind of reminds me of. Have you ever seen that movie, The Truman Show with Jim Carrey?
Right.
Have you
Yeah,
ever
I
seen
have.
it?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. But how does
So
that connect to this?
no, the concept is very similar, where they literally built a city inside a
Mm,
dome, and where
mm.
everybody actually lives in, and like
Yeah, but everybody else is an actor except for one guy.
correct. But my point is, in regards to that, it's a city built inside. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a bit of a stretch putting those two together, but
I
okay,
guess.
I'll give it to you.
Yeah, I guess. But my point is, it's something that in my head, having lived out here in the real world, really, and then all of a sudden moving
Mhm.
into something like that, either the
Ah,
line or the floating city or Kowloon City.
you're
Oh my
right.
god.
I get what you mean. You're probably referring to how maybe manicured or how not fake, but it was man-made. It was built, not like an organic city.
Right, right.
I mean, when I was listening to you talk about it that way, I couldn't help but be reminded of Singapore. That's how I felt for like 5 minutes, like the first time that I went there.
Mm,
It's like everything just felt like a golf course. Everything's
mhm.
all manicured, planned out properly because this is supposed to be here and that's supposed to be. There's nothing like it didn't feel organic
Yeah,
for five
yeah, yeah,
minutes.
yeah, yeah,
For five
yeah.
minutes, you just get that feeling. But then
S-
after a while, you realize that, hey, it's just different, but it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah,
People
but
are
that's the
still.
thing too, though. Just like what's happening in Kowloon, there's lack of government and control that everybody is just doing what they want to do. Now, is that
Mm,
something that's worth it? Is it going to I don't know if it's sustainable, because
mm,
when you live like how Kowloon did or what happened there is people are basically cramped into this place,
mm, 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 mm,
and basically the idea of being able to do what you want to do
mm, mm.
whenever you want to do it takes over and then just out of control.
And you could just disappear into the ether. But
Correct.
again, for me, if I were an urban planner, engineer, in that whole building a city industry, I'd be
Mm-hmm.
so freaking excited.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be
Mm-hmm.
so freaking excited. It's such an interesting opportunity to be able to, like, again, to participate in that, urban experiment. But it's not like, remember the movies that we watch where, like 8 astronauts are in an experiment to go to Mars,
Right.
and we'll see what, you know parang ganun. But this one, you're talking about like a million plus people living together in a 170-kilometer city, and you're like, I wonder what's going to happen in there.
Right. 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 So here's a funny thing. So we're talking about the line and whatnot. The crazy thing is, in Alaska, there's actually a town that's inside one building, an entire town. Okay, in Alaska.
Show me.
Can you hear this?
Imagine the building you'll live
Yeah.
in is not just your home, but it is also your entire city. In this building, all the essential needs you can think of are gathered under one roof. People go to the grocery store, the post
So there's post office in this building. There's schools, hospitals, restaurants, and so forth and so forth.
office,
Yeah.
or even the notary in a heartbeat by just taking an elevator ride. Despite the storm outside and the giant snowbanks, the kids living here get to school through the underground tunnel in their building. Located in the south of Alaska, Whittier is a coastal city hidden between towering mountains and the ocean. With an area of approximately 51 square kilometers or 20 square miles, it has only one residential complex for its entire population.
Can
For
you
the
believe
residents
that?
of Whittier, walking
In
in
a
the
20-mile radius, there's one residential building where everybody in the town lives in. That's it.
corridors of their building means strolling through the streets of a neighborhood. It is quite common for the community to casually greet the police chief in pajamas at the grocery store or
There's a government, there's a
There you
mayor,
go.
there's a police, there's everything.
There you go. There you go. That's what I meant. Like how, the policeman, you get to see him like in his pajamas doing his
Right.
laundry. There you go. That's what I meant. That's why it's going to be so interesting, I think.
run into the mayor at the laundry room.
Now we are waiting for the tunnel to be open for our side to get to Whittier. We are not allowed. The
So
Is this
at least there's some kind of structure in this place. It's not like what's going on in Kowloon where there's no structure, there's no police, there's no mayor, nothing. It's basically every man on its own type of thing. Do what you want to do. And this place, basically, how this city or town in Alaska started
Mm.
decades and decades and decades ago. Basically, there was actually an actual town, right? There was a huge storm that forced everybody in the neighborhoods within this town to actually go into that building to seek shelter, and they just never left.
Galing,
Basically.
galing.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Mga squatter.
Yeah, parang ganon, no? Tama.
Or if you want to put a positive twist to it, refugees.
I think refugees would be a better way of like explaining it.
Bro, all of this is probably not connected to what I'm about to share with you. But the other day, Dean and I were just, going to our 5-minute Jollibee Army Navy neighborhood place where there's like all these lined up fast food joints. Across the street from there, there's this. I think it's safe to say that he was squatter before. That he was a shack basically.
Yeah.
And then for some reason or another, I think the owner of the lot. I don't know what the story is really, but until today, it's still looking like a shack. Gave him the title for the land, like literally a small piece of land.
Up. Like actually gave him ownership of the land.
Right, but I could be wrong about that detail. But the whole point of the story is that there is an urban development area right now where they're building Jollibee, like a mall here and a mall there, Army
Right.
Navy,
Right.
fast food restaurants,
Right.
and a couple of posh neighborhoods. But somewhere in the middle of that, like off center, there's like literally mga what do you call that? The roof shingles
Chingos. Yeah.
wrapped around the house because it looks like a shack.
Wow.
So like parang the posh neighborhood just gave them construction money to build to cover up the house basically because
Right.
it's a pain in the eye.
Right.
It's an eyesore to see. But the whole story is that they wanted to buy that land, like the mall wanted to buy that land, but the guy wouldn't let go. Even there's even a piece of road that goes around the house
Jesus.
because he wouldn't sell. And
So what happened?
that's it. So there's a mall being built around it. There's like a Jollibee Army Navy being built around it, like literally
Right.
across the street from his house. And there's also sort of a highway going around the house. Everybody's this is not compared to the other one that I saw. I don't know where it is, if it's Vietnam or Thailand. There's a house inside the mall. So the house, this shack, for the lack of a better word, parang squatter, is inside, with free air conditioning because it's inside the mall.
You know how much money that guy's saving for electricity or gas or whatever?
I don't know about that. But there's something like that. I was going to
So
ask
if the
you you
mall
want to-
closes, does that mean he can't get out as well?
I don't know how true this is, but I think I saw it, in one of the feeds somewhere not too long ago, about a month ago, I think. But
Right.
yeah, but back here in this neighborhood, yeah, there's something going on like that. So back in the days, because this area that I'm living in now in Las Piñas, field over field over field. But
Right.
now, like, people are starting to build roads and, these posh neighborhoods all around. And then there are some people, that guy in particular, didn't want to sell
Right.
or didn't want to let go of his land. Like, this was given to me. I'm not going to sell it
Right. And he has every right to it, obviously.
because he's legit. He has a title, but his house, as in quite literally, looks like a shanty, as in bahay kubo.
See, it's something like that. I don't know if that's kind of like pride thing, but if you have something like that and you have an opportunity to actually make money off it so you could have a better life, wouldn't you want to take that?
He's got his reasons. He's also got his land title.
Well, there you go. Yeah, there you go. I know that we've been all over the place here and whatnot, but
What you
one
got?
thing I want to dive into. I know it's New Year's Eve. By the way, people, please be safe out there. Don't go crazy. Be careful. Just watch yourself. Don't do anything stupid.
In other words, keep your fingers intact.
Yeah, basically.
This
Well, they
year.
don't have that here in the States. Nobody really blows up their fingers around here. Not like in the Philippines on New Year's Day. Say, a couple of guys lost their thumb playing with a bit of fire or whatever,
Hey, now speaking of which, the fire department just
Yeah.
went around today just for fun, like just like reminding you, don't
Yeah.
start a fire and don't blow your hand up. As in literally they were just driving around with their wang wangs on, letting you know that we're here and you don't want to meet us for tonight.
Right,
Celebrate without seeing the fire department. What do you mean? How do people celebrate there?
Well, here,
I mean, if
there's
they-
nobody. The biggest fireworks that's actually done here, those little fountain thing that you put on the floor and then you light it up. It's like, psh, that's it.
Mm-mm.
Unlike in the
So-
Philippines back then, where we have those triangle ones, you hold
Yeah.
it, you
Yeah.
unwrap the little wick, light it
5
up.
star.
Yeah.
5 star.
Psh, yeah, man, I almost lost a finger a couple of times doing that
Why,
because
if
I
you
was
get it-
stupid enough to take the wrapper of the wick out,
Oh,
but my finger was sweaty,
oh no.
so it almost stuck to my finger.
Yeah.
You
nice.
you hold the what do you call that green thing that repels bugs? What do you call that?
Katol.
Yes. So you hold one
Oh.
of those. You light it up, psh, and then oh my god, you know, you
Yeah,
you
there's
take
just
the
too many things going on. But nowadays, you're even holding your phone, so there's like a third thing that you need to manage.
exactly. Yeah. So there's multiple times where it actually stuck to my finger, but
Mm,
I still was barely lucky. The closest a firecracker blew up was literally maybe, I don't know, a foot from my face. Just because
yikes!
I flicked it out, fire eventually came off my finger, and in
Like at
midair
the
it just exploded. Yeah.
last second. So what's the biggest threat? Like when you say, "Oh, be careful," what are you going to be careful about?
Here mainly it's about drunk drivers,
Mm,
fights, and then also, people just with the guns nowadays and whatnot.
mm-mm,
So just watch yourself, don't be stupid. Everybody will do stupid things, but just if you're gonna do stupid things, make sure you get yourself back. Get a ride home, have an Uber called for you or whatever. Just don't do anything stupid. That's it. I've seen a truck literally in front of me way back then outside of a club at like 3 a.m. Guy jumps in his truck, swerves off into a building. I've seen that way too. I've seen that maybe 4 times in my life, you know. And drunk drivers just getting in the car and God, what a waste. Anyway,
yeah.
this
There's a
being New Year's Eve,
Mm.
I wanted to ask you. I know we're getting close to time here, but what do you think 2023 being literally around the corner of being over?
Mm.
So, two things. One, what do you think would be your best part or memory of 2023? And then, two, what would be the worst?
Whew. Pass. You first.
Pass. Come on, man.
No, I don't want
You're,
to sound sappy or corny, but this podcast is pretty at the top of that list.
yeah.
Must say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good to hear.
I mean, aside from being late on every other episode, I mean, that's the
Yeah.
sad part. But
Yeah.
the fact that we're actually still doing it and we're still friends and we haven't like, oh, I'm not going to text you anymore because you're not my friend. Pick up the ball and go home kind of guy. Like yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's good to hear.
Uh,
That's like your good part right there is your good part.
well,
Or what would be your worst part?
I'm trying to gauge your your sensitivity. I want you to go first.
Well,
Look, I'm not drunk enough to answer this question. I
yeah,
wasn't ready
yeah.
for it. If you message me like, hey, we'll talk about like the best and worst part about 2023. Why don't you start like prepare your list?
That's true. Well, you
Can't
could have also messaged, but we're
can't
not gonna
think
go
of
there.
can't think of anything off the top of my head. You get
Right.
the ball rolling. I'll kick it back
Well,
at you.
the best part for me for 2023 was really, um, I think it was not my anniversary this year, but it's basically just spending time personally. For me, I've been calmer this year. I think to me that was like the best part. Yes, I'm.
Yeah.
It is. I'm talking
Yeah.
about selfish reasons here. Okay.
Wait. Calmer after you were diagnosed with high blood pressure.
No. This whole year has been considerably calm for me.
Mm.
You don't understand. My temper back then is just ridiculous. But this year, I think the best part of this year for me has been my control. But the worst part for me is I think my health this year just literally took a toll on me. And that's one of the things that I want to work on next year. Yeah, I think so. Oh, you're on mute. I can't hear you. Nothing. I don't know what happened.
Sorry about that. I was
Yeah.
tinkering around with the camera. Yeah, no, I was saying that if you wanted to go down that route, I would go with, for me, it wasn't like really, I can't like give too much credit to myself here. It wasn't something that I planned and thought about ahead of time.
Mhm.
But I think without much effort or without much planning, parang 2023 sort of tested like what's really important and sort of focused me. Maybe also it's because it's also like year of being 45. Like, oh, you're
Yeah.
gonna be 45 this year. Better figure out your shit. Get your shit together. So it kind of focused on like, yeah, like you could be like your friend Jason. You could be diagnosed with high blood pressure. What you gonna do
Man.
about it? You know, he's not allowed to drink coffee and have like processed food like hot dogs anymore or bacon. What are you gonna do about it?
It's not that I'm not allowed. Everything is cut down drastically. That's it.
So that was sort of the cherry on top when you were diagnosed, and I was just like listening to that story. But somewhere along the line, plus like sort of adjusting my schedule around the podcast kind of thing.
Right.
Like I said, it kind of helped center thing. So yeah, 2023 was sort of. I was thinking about this the other day, and maybe it'll lead up to 2023. Like in my early 20s, I was messing around with radio and television, and then on my 30s, I sort of like flipped over to the other side and went like environmental and went like hardcore scuba diving in my 30s.
Right.
And then on my 40s, I was like hardcore, trying to be a dad, kind of, focusing on my son kind of thing. And then now that, 50, I guess, is just around the corner, 2024 on the way. There's more of this focus about like, oh yeah, okay, you did all of that for other people. What are you going to do about for yourself now? Or how are you
Right.
going to like bring that out?
Right.
I guess. I mean, I don't want to sound like trying to be poetic about it or sappy or corny. Pero yun parang like less outward and then more looking inward.
I think I know what you're saying, and I think that ties into my resolution for 2024.
Oh no. Not the R
It's-
word.
Man, it's basically, for me, one thing that I'm definitely okay. I think everybody is guilty of this. Okay, we have all been attached and consumed mainly by social media, from YouTube to Facebook to Twitter to TikToks to Instagram, whatever, everything for social media. But the worst part about that is it's all for selfish reasons. It's always for self gain. Oh, you froze. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can freeze you. I can see you. I mean, I could hear you, but
You
It's
literally
fun.
froze. Yeah. It's basically everything has always been for self gain, when we do things with social
Mhm.
media. So
Mm.
for 2024, I'm gonna one of the main things that I want to change is that itself. I'm gonna use all of this not just for self gain and selfish reasons, not all about me watching videos and all that stuff. I'm actually gonna use it to try to improve my day-to-day life as well.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I've got goals that I want to put out there for the YouTube, this show, for my personal page as well. Also, I'm going to start doing all these other things where I'm trying to make and revolve my day-to-day living around it as well.
Wow. Getting
So
hot in here.
yeah, man, I'm like,
Roll
there's
up
so
my
many things
sleeves.
that we've all been stuck in our seats so much with social media, especially YouTube and TikTok, because we're always watching.
Mm.
Why not involve it to our day-to-day lives more? We can and we should.
In what way? What do you mean?
Like, if you for example, if you want to be active out there, create more content with it, and then post
Mm.
it. But at the same, it's not just sitting on our seats watching videos all the time.
Oh,
Because-
you want to be less of a consumer and more of a producer.
Correct.
Are
But
you going to be like a self-help guru now? Like, oh, you guys, you must have breakfast in the morning.
now, man, I mean, those people that do that, as much as I make fun of them, dude, they got it going on right. They know what they're doing because it's
Don't
a
forget
goal
to
for
say
them. It's
your-
a day-to-day thing.
Your affirmations for today.
Yeah. I mean, we make fun of it, but damn, like I said, they know what they're doing, and look at their lives now.
We're missing
So
out on that, and I want to take advantage of it. Yeah.
is it something we can preempt? Give me a little give us a little teaser. What can we expect from Jason?
Like, for
from
example,
the
one
flip
of the big
side?
things that I want to do this year is I want to play pickleball a lot. I've actually played a couple of times already before this year.
Mm.
And it's gonna
Sasabi ka sa liga ng mga pickleball.
once I get better, yes, my intention is to join, to find a
Wow.
local. I know there's a local thing. I mean,
And you have like a trophy in the background there somewhere.
I've already got my rackets and everything.
Wow.
I'm gonna. Me and my wife actually played. We enjoyed it a lot, surprisingly enough. Not
Mm.
only it's gonna help our healthy exercise and all that stuff, but it's also something that I can possibly create content and produce for my page or the show or whatever. You know what I mean?
Wow.
There has to be something. One of the biggest resolutions I have is in everything that I do, there has to be a reason. Not a reason, a reason, I guess, but it has to be a purpose. There has to be a purpose for something. And it has to be a purpose for improvement.
So aside from health and wellness, what does pickleball do for you?
Well, for that, besides the fact that it takes me away from social media for 2 hours out of the day, hell yeah, I'll take it. You know what I mean?
Do you have a social media problem?
I spend too much time watching videos. It's ridiculous.
You don't seem like it. I mean, between
I
you
do.
and me.
No, you and I have the same problem. You probably more so than me
Oh,
because,
that's where we differ. I don't have a problem.
yeah, but see, that's the biggest. That's your biggest problem is the lack of acceptance towards it. That's why it never changes. If you don't verify that there's a problem, then you won't know they'll be able to fix it. First step of fixing a problem is recognizing there's a problem.
I'm kidding.
I know, but it's definitely something this year. Everything needs to have a purpose, and it has to be a positive, reinforcing purpose for whatever reason.
What if the purpose is really just for fun? Because why am I going to go out and get some fresh air? Is it for exercise? No, I just want to get some fresh air because I love it.
Yeah, but that's normal though. Everything
Okay.
should be positive, or not everything, because that's just impossible. But for the most part, everything you do
Okay.
should be fun for you, one way or the other.
Are you saying you're going to do more things because there's more purpose? Are you saying the opposite? You're going to do less things because you see less
Either
purpose
or.
in doing those things?
Either or. If there's a purpose for it and it's a positive purpose that's going to be a positive outcome, positive in a way that maybe it'll make me or somebody happy, hell yeah.
Hasn't it always been like that?
No. Well, as much as we want to believe so, yes, but we all know, we just refuse to admit it. We've procrastinated on it. We're all slackers one way or the other.
No, because I remember a few years ago, and I was taking theater classes, and my director was saying something like, that's been said and done before. Like, for example, like if somebody's going to decide to do like any Shakespearean play, like Romeo and Juliet, it's like
Okay.
anybody can do Romeo. Not anybody, but you know what I mean. It's like it's overdone so many times already. There's like a black and white version, a colored version. I don't know if there's a cartoon animation version, but like, why would Leonardo DiCaprio, for example, and Kate Winslet, was it Kate Winslet? No. Why would Leonardo DiCaprio and
Claire
that girl,
Danes.
Claire Danes, do Romeo and Juliet in a movie if it's already been done before?
Why? I understand what you're saying, but why even question that? So what if it's been done before?
No.
But I've never done it.
No. What I'm actually trying to supplement what you're saying. Na parang, yes, do it because there's going to be something that you're going to add to whatever people are already used to or whatever you're already used to.
Which is great.
Yeah, yun nga yun.
Yeah.
So just be aware. Yun lang yun. I think that's what the director was saying. Na
Yeah.
be aware
But
and
for personal reasons, yeah, I think we need to be more proactive with our lives. If we boil down our day-to-day lives, we spend so much time wasted.
right.
It doesn't need to be all the time. It doesn't need to be everything you do has to be a purpose. But the lather of that is we are still lacking even a little bit. If that's making sense, you know?
I'm glad that you're finding more purpose and passion towards pickleball.
Oh, it's an example, but you know what? It's one example that hopefully it will contribute to positive reinforcement with my actual life, you know? Because
Yeah.
our outcome, if we are feeling that positive about ourselves and our contribution to our day-to-day lives and whatnot, everything around us will fall into place. You know?
I'm curious, which one are you having a hard time? Because I was about to ask you a question, like, out of all your habits, pickleball included, like which one like sort of starts the domino effect. But I'm thinking between sleep and exercise,
Mm.
what everybody says is like most important. Which one do you have most difficult? Which one are you having a more difficult time controlling or figuring out?
Figuring out to do.
Just to have a control over, like that'll
Um,
like start the domino effect of everything else would be good.
Well, there's two things really. It's my eating habit and my health, like the whole going to gym thing, you know, controlling everything. That's always been the hardest part for me. Now, I've come to believe and learn that if I looked back, so I haven't there was like a long part mid this year where my gym regiment, has actually been pretty good, and it felt it affected my entire day-to-day life. It affected my day-to-day my diet and my outlook on everything. It was just positive, you know. Unfortunately, I got injured and I wasn't able to do anything. And I felt the difference, the big difference then until after I got injured. Oh, man, huge difference on my day-to-day living, the way my physical feelings and everything. It's just a huge difference, you know.
And let's remind the audience again how we got yourself injured.
Yeah, I freaking broke my foot pushing a car. Yeah, because I felt like I was freaking the Incredible Hulk for some reason. So stupid. Man, that was 2 months of pain. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, so don't push a car. If you don't have to push a car, don't push a car. I broke my foot and it hurt. That was 2 months of hell.
Did you push it the wrong way, or was it just a weak leg?
It was just my leg was just put down in an awkward position or whatever. Anyway, so at least to me, that's my resolution for 2024. And I'm positive about it, and I'm looking forward to the new year. I really am. I'm excited about the challenges that's coming and what I'm going to get done. What about you?
What can I say?
Yeah.
Same, exactly the same.
Exactly
the same.
I think that's it for today, guys. We are way above the time limit. Thank you very much for tuning in. 2023 has been an interesting year in regards to this show. We have over 1,238 subscribers now. All you guys are watching this later. Thank you very much for your support. Anything else you want to add?
More prizes and surprises.
Listen, guys, 23 down and over. 2024 is here. Happy New Year. Be safe. Enjoy yourselves. Again, this is The Flip Side with Jay and Noel. My name is Jay.
Man. Yeah, it's been good. Looking forward to the next year. Fist bump. Boom.
Boom.
Yeah.
My name is Jay.
Name's Noel.
And we'll catch you guys later.
On the flip side.
Happy New Year's, guy. New Year's? New Year. New Year, right? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
It's just New Year. I always say New Year's for some reason. I don't know why.
Because it's your New Year's resolution.
Yeah. You can catch the full episodes on youtube.com at The Flip Side with Jay and Noel.